We recently experienced here in New Jersey a hurricane, Isaias. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was pretty terrifying. There were some major trees that fell down during that time. A huge tree right next door to us, a massive branch fell off, required crews a couple of days to cut it up just to take it away. It's pretty terrifying. But it made me really sad because the trees are so beautiful. Some of the trees here in Passaic are over 100 years old. There is a row of trees planted on Passaic Avenue, and next to each tree is a small plaque embedded in the ground with the name of a soldier from Passaic who died in the First World War. And on the plaque it says the name, when he died, and it says World War. Tragically, it's always sad to see that because they thought that was it, the World War. They didn't realize there'd be a second. So it was just First World War. But those trees were planted over 100 years ago, about 100 years ago, in memory of those soldiers. To see a tree 100 years old, and if you go to the redwood forest, the Muir woods, etc., you can see trees that are hundreds of years old. Imagine, if that tree was conscious, what it has seen in history. There's a tree in California which I think is over 4,000 years old. Absolutely an amazing thing. Trees I find very inspiring, and our sages tell us a lot of interesting things about trees. In fact, in this week's Torah portion, there's a prohibition against destroying fruit-bearing trees, even in a time of war, when it was standard that you would lay siege to a city and destroy absolutely everything. The Torah prohibits the Jewish army from destroying fruit-bearing trees. There's a certain respect for a tree. A righteous person is compared to a tree. The tree has, so to speak, as the Maharal explains, a connection to the heavens. It breathes in actually, he didn't know this, but it breathes in carbon dioxide, breathes out oxygen, but it's also connected to the earth, and it's rooted in the earth, and it absorbs the water. It connects different elements, air and water and the sun, and so on and so forth. It's an amazing, amazing creature, an amazing thing, which helps us, of course, in terms of our oxygen supply, and in terms of shade, and in terms of food, and in terms of shelter, and so many benefits from the amazing tree. When the Jews came back to the land of Israel last century and this century after 2,000 years of exile, we found a land that was almost completely deforested by centuries, first of all by the Romans, and then later on by many other conquerors who just deforested the land. There was almost not I think there was one forest in Israel that dated back more than 1,000 years. Now, Israel is the only country in the world that entered the 21st century with a net increase in the amount of trees. We became fanatical tree planters. There are beautiful forests. My son in Israel goes mountain biking in a forest near where he lives every day. My other children walk in a forest near where they live, and amazing stuff. So Israel's this place of great trees, and it's inspiring to see a tree. A righteous person is compared to a tree. A tree stores up its liquid that it absorbs from the snow melt in the sap. It only brings it out at the appropriate moment, the appropriate time. Like a righteous person who knows when to absorb and when to utilize potential. So the Torah tells us don't destroy the trees, and we all know now how important trees are just from a scientific and ecological perspective. And am I a tree hugger? A little bit, yes. But it made me think of the wonder and the beauty of trees when I saw some fall down a couple of weeks ago. Have a wonderful Shabbos. This is Mordechai Becher with the Gateway's Parshat Vlog.